So hi guys, welcome to your favorite channel. Absolute. So hi guys, welcome to your favorite channel. Absolute. So hi guys, welcome to your favorite channel. So hi guys, welcome to your favorite channel, Absolute Beginners Coding. So in this video, we'll be seeing how to use cascading style sheets. Yes. Okay. So first of all, welcome to Absolute Beginners Coding. Okay, so this is the maximum size I can do right there. So welcome to Absolute Beginners Coding. So we are in Facebook, and we are in Twitch, we are in YouTube, we are in Kick, and we are in Instagram. So everything has the same username. Okay, so everything has the same spelling, everything is in lowercase right there. So you can actually follow every social media account of mine everywhere. So yeah, so these are all social networking handles right there. So in Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Kick, and Instagram, I have the same spellings, lowercase, Absolute Beginners Coding. So okay, let's start learning CSS. Okay, so what is CSS? It's Cascading Style Sheet. Okay, so why to learn CSS? So first of all, if you're using a browser, it might run on like Chrome, Opera, Firefox, Safari, and might run on Brave, like Edge, and so on. So no matter like whatever browser you're using, it's gonna show or it's gonna open the websites. So how does a website run? So with the help of HTML, CSS, and any scripting languages like JavaScript or TypeScript or like any other scripting languages. So basically this HTML and CSS are mandatory, so there is no replacement for this, and it might be any scripting languages, that doesn't matter, and it might be any frameworks like Angular or React or Vue or Next, or it might be anything, it doesn't matter, and might be any frameworks, it doesn't matter. But what matters is HTML and CSS doesn't change. The reason is, whenever you're opening a website, if you're opening any websites of your favorite, and it's going to show you a number of words, images, videos, it's showing you with the help of HTML, and the color of the fonts, the size of the fonts, the style of the fonts, the background, the images moving here and there, the animations, the 2D 3D animations, everything has done by the help of CSS. So CSS and HTML are two mandatory programming languages that you should actually learn if you want to be a UI developer or UX developer. You have to learn that. Okay, so now we have come to know that CSS and HTML is mandatory. So I have already uh, what to say, like yesterday, the previous day from today, I have already like made a live video for like more than 8 hours, probably like around 9 hours video of HTML tutorial. So it's a one of the finest and in-depth video ever made in the history of YouTube or Facebook or Twitch or Kick. So you can search it, like you can go to my YouTube channel, and you can see it under this video will make you a king of HTML. So it's a like in-depth video. So if you're someone who doesn't even know what a HTML is, you have no clue about it, don't worry. So I got you covered with that video, and you can find it on my YouTube channel, and it will be the name. This will be the name. So this video will make you a king of HTML, or you can also find it on my homepage under like HTML tutorial playlists as well. So this is the like the 9 hours video. It's actually 9 hours video of HTML tutorial. It's the end of the video. Actually, I tried to upload the same 9 hours video to my Facebook, but Facebook doesn't allow a video which is more than might be like 8 hours, I guess so. So actually I have to like clip into like 2 parts, and I will upload like end of today. But if you want to like search for the same, you can always go to my YouTube, and you can actually watch the video right there. Okay, so that's it. That's the HTML video for you guys. Right now I'm going to make a in-depth video of CSS right now. Okay, so let's learn about CSS. Great. Make sure to follow me on my Facebook and leave a like on my Facebook page, which is Absolute Beginners Coding right there. You can also like follow my YouTube channel, which is Absolute Beginners, again Absolute Beginners Coding. And if you want to watch or like subscribe to my Twitch or follow my Twitch, or you can also follow my Kick or Instagram. It has the same name as I said before. Okay, so let's dive into the learning process of CSS. Okay, so what's the basic concept you should know about CSS? What is it? Actually, what is CSS? So as I already said, CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. So CSS actually tells HTML elements like how they can be shown on the screen, like what color they should be, what background they should have, what color the background should have, what must be the sizes of the fonts, what the font element should be, what's the font style should be. Everything it is done by CSS. So it actually does up the HTML. So if HTML is a bare body, the CSS is a beautiful dress, goggles, hats, watches, and everything, shoes, and so on. Okay, So let me tell you a process of CSS. There are like three types of CSS. I mean like three ways to use CSS. One might be like inline CSS. Another one is internal CSS. Another one is external. They're actually like style, they don't say as CSS, which is inline style, external style, and internal style. So these are the three types of style that we can actually use the CSS. Okay, what is the inline style? So let me give you an example of inline style. So for doing the inline style, you need a HTML document. So right now for the teaching process, I'm going to use my notepad. So if you have a notepad and a browser, you're good. You can also like try my tutorial on your Android or iOS devices as well. If your device do have a notepad and which allows you to save a file in HTML and CSS, then you're good to go. You can learn it in your mobile, you can learn it in your iPads, tabs. It doesn't matter, you should have a computer. Okay, so let's do it. So I'm going to turn this notepad into a HTML file. To do that, I'm going to use this brackets. You remember these brackets? This will come through the HTML and CSS. Now I'm going to create a HTML file. To do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the exclamation mark, and I'm going to type doc type, which should be in caps, and a space, then small letter comes, which is HTML. So now this has turned this document type into HTML. So how to make this document run the command in HTML? So for the same, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a HTML element. So whatever I'm going to type inside this will act as a HTML element right now. So this has made this empty notepad into a HTML document, and this has made this HTML elements to run. Okay, so whatever we're gonna type, it should be inside the HTML right there, because I'm gonna show you how to use the inline CSS. So after that comes the head, and let me like copy this and let me end this with a backslash as well, and afterwards comes the body right there. So even it should have a closure with a backspace. Okay, so now it's time to create an inline CSS. I'm going to use a for that. Great. And I'm going to type absolute beginners coding. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to type inline style. So to do that, I'm going to use style. I'm going to type style. So every command should be in small letters. Okay, remember that. So equals, double quotes or single quotes, both are fine. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to type color. So since the HTML and CSS are like made by or found by American, every spellings should be in American format, even if you're British, because this is a command, right? You should not mess with that. So if you like type COLOUR color, because I'm a British or I follow British, it don't work. So better learn American spellings. So remember that. Here whatever you write, that doesn't matter, because it's going to display, even it's in French or Mandarin, doesn't matter. But the commands should be in American English, and it should be in lower cases, don't forget that. So I'm going to type color and a little colon, and I'm going to type red. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this file in a HTML type. So I'm going to type like learn it.html or htm, both saves as a HTML file. Okay, so since this is a inline HTML, I'm using the HTML inside I mean, like, this is a inline style, inline CSS. So this is a HTML document, right? So inside a HTML document, I'm directly using the style of CSS in a line of a HTML document. So it's simple. That's the reason it is called as inline CSS. So this is the inline CSS, because directly inside the HTML document in a line, I'm using the CSS command like style equal to color red, and I can also use background color as like aqua, then what else, border, like it can be like 5 pixel solid yellow, and font family, like what is the font family, like Times New Roman, I don't know, like typewriter, I don't know, like what are the fonts actually available, because if I use the code editor like Visual Studio Code or so on, it might show the suggestion, but right now I'm in a notepad, I have to remember things. Okay, let me search for a font family quickly. So I'm going to use cursive font family right there. Okay, great. And font size, it should end with a semicolon. Then font size, probably around like 200 pixels, right? Okay, so I'm gonna save this file. Let me like open this. Okay, so the name of this document is learn it, right? Okay, so this is the output, guys. So we have used the inline CSS command. So you can see the font family is cursive, and you can see the size is around like 300 pixels, and you can see the color is red, background is aqua, border is yellow. So this is how you can actually beautifully use the inline CSS. So what happens if I take this? Okay, so let me like remove something, and if I take the color away, it will not look the same, so it's black. So I have taken the color away, and I'm keeping the same and saving it. Now I'm taking the background color, which is aqua. Now let's see that. Now you can see there is no background color, just the border. And let's save it. And what happens if I take the border? There won't be any border. Okay, let me like take the font family, like font type, So you can see the default font. So if I take the font size, let's see what happens. Now let's go. Okay, so it is like really small. So okay, let me like open again. Okay, everything is back with every color, background, border, and everything. So can I like increase the border? I'd like do it right now. So I have increased the border. You can see it. Okay, you can see it actually. The border has been increased. Okay, great. So this is the inline CSS, guys. You can directly use the CSS command inside a HTML. So this is a HTML document. So there's another one which is internal CSS. Now let's see what a internal CSS is. Okay, so what happens is in internal CSS, next to the head, we're gonna type style inside the brackets, and it should also end with a backslash style. Okay, so what's gonna happen here is I'm gonna type something inside A or H1 or H6, whatever you want to use. So I'm gonna try something. Which is absolute beginners coding right there. And okay, so what I'm going to do is inside the style, I'm going to add the letter A, which is here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some curly braces, and inside that what I'm going to do is add color, background color. And font family and font size, then border, then padding. Okay, so these are the something I'm going to add, and even border radius. Okay, so all this thing I'm going to add. So I'm going to add the color as red, background color might be like yellow, font family might be like, will be like trying a new one. Let it be like cursive again, and the font size might be like around 150 pixels, and border might be like 10 pixel, and solid aqua, and padding might be like around 15 pixel, and border radius might be around 10 pixel, right? So at the end of each command, you should actually use a semicolon. That means that's the end of the command. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to save this file, which means internal CSS learning, and this is a HTML document, so I'm going to save it as .html. Okay, I'm going to open this right now. Okay, so this is the result right there. So this is what we have done. So what we have done here is, okay, let me like add a line space. So BR is the line space. So 1 BR equals 1 line space, 3 BR equals 3 line space. So we have to mention the line space, otherwise it will not work, right? So let me like refresh it. Okay, so you can see that we have used the color as red, so the font color is red. The background color we have used is yellow, so that's the reason actually it is in yellow, like as you can see here. And you can see the font family is cursive, so that's the reason it is cursive here. And font size is like 150 pixels, that's the reason it is like 150 pixels right there. So the border is like 10 pixels solid aqua, so you can see that it is solid aqua. And padding is 15 pixels. Padding means that the gap between all the edges, so it is 15 pixels. Border radius is 10 pixels, so it has a radius of 10 pixels. You can see it is like curve, so you can see that the edges are curved, because that's the reason, because we have mentioned padding. So what happens if I change the color? And it will also change. Okay, let me like change the color right now, so let's see it side by side. If I change the color into like navy, and let me like save it and refresh it, you can see that the color of the letters are in navy right now. So if I change the font size to like 15 pixels and like save it, so you can see that now the font is actually 15 pixels. It is like too small than the previous one. And you can see the border radius is around 10 pixel right now, border radius. And I can actually even make it smaller. I'm saving it and I'm refreshing it. It is like really small right now. And if I like add like 20, it might be like a rounded edge, so you can see that it's really round, so because of the radius I've given. And border I might like give like around 20 right now. And let me like change back to 5. We save it, so now you can see it, since it's 5, it's not so big, right? So it is not visible. I'm saving again with 15 pixel. Okay, so here you can see that now it's 15 pixel, and I can actually change it to 5 pixel right now. You can see it's like really curved right now. So that's how you actually change the color of the actual letter. Change the background, which is yellow like here, and I can also change it to anything, and change the font family and font size. If I like change it to like 30 or something more than that, you can see it's really big. So this is the original size without any maximize or minimizing. So the font size is 50 right now. So I'm going to turn it into like round 100. Let's see what happens. Now it's big right now. So this is how to change the font size. And to change the border, I have said already. So this is how to use the internal CSS for styling, guys. So I've already shown you like how to use the inline CSS. So directly inside the line, you give style, you give background color, you give border, font family, what font size, and whatever you want to add, and you will get the same result. If you want to do it in a internal, what you have to do is next to the head you have to add an style element right there, tag element, and it should end with the style tag element. And if it is like a, then you have to mention a here. So you can also do it in another way. You can also add even more, even if it is a, and okay, let me like copy the same. Let me like copy this and let me paste it. If it is like other than a, like p, you can also use something called as id. You can add an id to that, and you can add name to that id like cat. And what happens is, if you are using the id, what you can do is you can do the same like this, but what you should do is should come out of this parenthesis, and you can add a hashtag and name of the id, and everything can be the same. And what happens is you will get the same result like the previous one. So this is how to use the id for the internal. If you are using, like, let me like save this and go back and check it out. So you can see the same, right? So I have used the id. So if you're using the id, you should use hash. There's also something called as div. You can also use the same by using div. So let me like do it like this. Okay, for the same purpose, copying the same and pasting here. So instead of p, I'm gonna use div. So everything should be in small letters, don't forget that. And instead of id, there is something called as class, and you can use the name as dog. So you can also do the same whatever you did here, but what happens is you have to add a dot in front of it. If it is an id, then it is hashtag. If it is like a div element, div class, then it is a dog. So let me like copy the same. So I have pasted here. So I'm going to save this page. So I'm going to refresh it. So here you can see the same output. So this is how to use the internal CSS, guys. So what you can do is you can use the name of your element right here, tag element here, and you can take it and use it inside the style tag, and you can name it, and within the parenthesis you can give the command like color, background color, font family, font size, border, padding, border radius, anything. And the other way is, if you are using an id can be used in a as well. id can be used in anything like h1 to h6 or anything. You can use id. You can use the id inside the body as well. You can use it anywhere. But what happens is, if you're using an id, then what you can do is you should add a hashtag in front, and all the rest is same. If you're using a div element, you should actually name a class, and the class name you can mention with the dot in front of that, and everything is same. So this is how to use an internal. So let me like teach you how to use a external command. Okay, so for that I'm going to create a CSS file, I mean a HTML file before that. So we have created our HTML file successfully. So what we can do is you can do the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the same. So whenever you feel free, whenever you want to try this while watching the video, make sure to pause the video and try it, guys. So it will be really helpful for you. So okay, this is a HTML page right now. So we have created this page as HTML. We have created a HTML tag element so that the command inside it will be acceptable as a HTML tag element, and we have created a head, and inside the body what we have done is we have created an A element, and we have typed something in between, and we have created a P. With P we have created an ID, we have created a div class. So how to use an external CSS right now? So this is a CSS file, so you should not name anything as a CSS file. It's fine, it will understand, and I'm going to save it. So I'm going to type like learning it.css. so this is a file name. I want to save this. I'm going to go here. So this is an external CSS, right? What we have to do is like below the head you go and type like link inside the brackets, give a space. So this is rel, which is relative path. So it's a style sheet, so you have to name it as style sheet, and give some space, then type href and type the name of your CSS file, which is learning it.css. okay, I'm going to save this. Learning the new, let me like save it as a HTML file. So I'm going to save this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to the CSS file, which is a separate file. What I can do is I can do whatever I did here, the same, whatever I did inside the internal, I can do the same. So for the timely purpose I'm going to copy it, and this is a complete new CSS file. I'm going to paste it. So what happens is, this is a HTML file, right? So in this HTML file I have created an element A inside a body, an element ID with a paragraph, and a div class which is a name. So I have linked it to an external element with the help of this link element tag, and I want to mention it as a what type of relative path is this. It's a style sheet path, and the h reference, you might know that you can actually send the HTML to another external element. So that's the reason we can use this href actually. And inside the double quotes I have mentioned the CSS file name, which is learning it. So what happens is, this HTML file will be connecting to this learning it CSS file, and this ID cat, this div class will be connected here. So the A is here, so since it's the ID I have mentioned hashtag cat. Since it's a div class I have mentioned .dog. okay, so I'm going to save this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open the file learning the new right now. Learning the new. So boom, look at here. So everything is working, right? Okay, let me like change the color right now. So let me like change it to like purple. That's good. And tomato, and so everything is fine, like green. And let me like change the color to, what color should I use, like brown, and like silver. Like here I can actually use gray. Great, so let it be the same. So you can see that I'm changing the colors in a learning it.css file, but it will reflect in the HTML file here, because we have linked the same with the help of this link element tag element. Okay, let me like open this, or let me go to the file. So I'm opening the learning the new. So you can see that what we have made is actually here. The changes has been implemented here on the website on the HTML page. Okay, so I have changed the color as brown and background as silver and the border as gray. It has been here. It has given the change, and you can see that it is purple and background is tomato and border is green. So we can see the changes here. So this is how to use an external CSS. Okay, so these are the three ways that you can use the CSS. One is the inline way, which is like this. Directly inside the line we are implementing the style, and the second one is internal, so next to the head we are mentioning it, right? Oh, did I close the internal one? Okay, you know that, right? And the third one is the external, linking the external to the HTML with the help of the link element. Okay, so let's do it. So with the help of link we have done the external CSS. So these are the three ways that you can use the style sheet. So this is the internal right here. Below the head we have to mention style, and within the style you can mention whatever you want, and boom, you will get the result. And this is a complete new document, which is a style sheet, which I have linked using the link tag element right here. So this is the three ways you can actually use the CSS, guys. So let's move on. I'm pretty sure that you're actually fine and you're having a clear context of what I said. Okay. I'm gonna open a new document like here. So let's talk about like CSS commands. So how to use a commands in CSS? So whatever you do is you do a backslash star and again a star and backslash. So whatever you type here will be a command. Okay, so it will not reflect on the page. So this is how to use a command inside a CSS. But how you use a command in HTML? So this is how you use a command inside a HTML file. So boom, this is a command in HTML file. Okay, so this is how you use the HTML commands. This is how you use in CSS. Okay, so let's move on. So now let me tell you what are the ways to add colors. Okay, what are the ways to add colors to CSS? You can either give a name, or you can actually use the value of RGB, or you can use the value of RGBA, or the value of hex, or the value of hue, saturation, lightness, HSL, or HSLA, which is A stands for alpha and the rest is same. So these are the ways to add a color to your CSS. Okay, let me teach you right now. Okay, let me create a new document, which should be a HTML document even though you're working with the CSS and everything. And let me create a head, we create a body, okay, great. So I'm going to use the link here, and relative path, it's a style sheet, and href, it should be coloring the sky.css. okay, so let me create a new file, which is a CSS file, and name it coloring the sky.css. okay, so what are the colors that we can actually use, and how to use them? So since I said you can use it by name, by RGB, values by RGBA, values by hex, by HSL, by HSLK. okay, let me teach with each example. Let me teach you with the name first. So hereafter I'm going to teach fully with the external CSS file, because you know that how to use inline and internal, pretty much the process are same. So I'm going to use external from now on. okay, let's start A. So absolute beginners coding. So this is the name, so I'm copied it, so I'm pasting it multiple times. okay, probably it might be 3, 6 or 9, 12. okay, so I'm going to give ID to them. okay, let me copy this and paste it as well. Right, so I'm going to give name to this ID like apple, banana, cat, dog, elephant, ELE, right? Elephant, and frog, giraffe, hydrogen, ice cream, job, kite, lemon. okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this ID, and I'm gonna use it in my cascading style sheet file, and I'm gonna change the colors and everything right now. So if it is an ID, we have to use hashtag. So hashtag Apple. Okay, this is what we're gonna use it. Okay, within the parentheses, whatever you want to do, you can do. Like I'm going to give the color and background color, then border, then font family, then font size, then what else? Padding, then border radius, and border style we want to. Okay, so these are the things that we can do. Okay, so let me like copy this so that it will be used for other things as well. So what's next? It's banana, right? Okay, and the other is cat, and next is dog. So the reason I'm giving hashtag is because I'm gonna call the IDs. So that's the reason I'm using the hashtag. And after dog, like elephant, and frog, giraffe, like what I did for H, hydrogen, ice cream, job. Okay, and ice cream, job, then kite, I guess so, kite lemon. Okay, so I'm gonna change the color by name. So what we are gonna learn now is what are the ways to add colors to CSS: by name, by RGB value, RGBA value, hex value, HSL value, HSLA value. So now we're gonna learn about the name. Okay, so what name I can give? Like red, background like yellow, border might be like 5 pixel, solid gray, and font family should be like curves, and font size probably around 100 pixel. Padding might be around like 40 pixel, and or you can also use percentage like 30 percentage, and border radius might be around 10 pixel. Border style might be dotted or something like that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add semicolon to everything so that it will take it as a end of the statement. So what are the other colors that we can add, like brown, aqua, red, curves, font size around 100 pixels, padding maybe around 20 pixels, border radius like 15 pixels, border style like border style might be like dotted again, and let's do another color, violet. Background color might be like silver, and border might be like 20 pixels, solid green. Font family might be like curves, font size around 100 pixel, padding maybe around 20 pixel, border radius is around like 10 pixel, border style might be dotted again. Right, so let's move to the next. So what color can add right now, like brown, red, like 10 pixels, solid, aqua, font family like curves, font size around 100 pixels, padding might be around like 20 pixels, border radius around like 10 pixels, border style might be like dotted. For the elephant, like black is the default one, or let me like choose something gray, silver, yellow, curves, 100 pixels, padding might be around 20 pixels, border radius around like 20 pixel. Right, super frog probably like green, background color might be black, border might be like 10 pixels, solid gray, font family is like curves, font size is 100 pixel, padding is 10 pixel, border radius is 10 pixel, border style is 25 pixel, color might be green again, background color is yellow, border might be like 10 pixel, solid black, font family is curves, font size is 100 pixel, padding like 20 pixel, border radius is 10 pixel, border style is dotted. Right, let's go to the hydrogen, navy, aqua, 10 pixel, solid gray, font family like curves, font size like 100 pixel, padding like 25 pixels, border radius is 10 pixel border style is dotted. For the ice cream, like pink, blue, 10 pixel solid, green, font family like curves, font size is 100 pixel, padding is at 25 pixel, border radius 15 pixel, border style dotted. For J, round brown, hello, green, curves, red pixel like 15 pixel, 10 pixel, dotted. For the kite, yellow, tomato, scrolls, it's yellow, green, blue, right. So let's see that. So we have given everything right. Apple, great. Banana, everything is good, right? Great. Cat, okay, that was a semicolon right there. Nice. Great. Great again. Great. Everything is good. Everything is good. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this page, and this is the document, right? So coloring the sky, I'm going to save this as coloring the sky.html. HTML is also fine, both are same. So I'm going to open this file right now. So coloring the sky. Okay, so this is the output, but what I've done wrong is I didn't give the line break in my HTML file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give some line breaks. So each and every BR represents a line break. So that doesn't matter if you give space or not, it doesn't count. Only BR is referred as a line space. Okay, so okay, that was nice, but I have given like some big numbers right there, so that's the reason it's not showing. So the output is here, the output is fine, great. So I think I have to give like even more line spaces. Wow. I'm gonna save this. Okay, now everything is looking good. So the one thing with the yellow background, I think I have given like too much of font size. Okay, so I've given like padding is around 30%. Let me like change into pixel. It will fix that. Okay, now everything looks great. So even I have to give some line spacing before the start, so it will look fine, I guess so. Okay, now it's good, right? So this is how to add colors to your CSS file like this by the name. So let me like show it to you line by line, so that you'll be having a clear idea. Okay, so let's see it. The first one, so I've given the name red, so you can see the font is in red. I'm giving the background color yellow, so the background is in yellow. So the border is 5 pixels solid gray, so the border is 5 pixels solid gray. Let me zoom it, so you can see the border is in gray. Since it's a dotted line, it is in dot. So if I take out this and save it, now you can see the border which is in gray right now, right? So and everything is fine. So what we are learning now is how to add the color by name. So this is how to add by name. This is the name red, this is the name yellow, this is the name gray. So you can see it here. So let's move further. So I have given the color name brown, so the font is in brown. Background color name aqua, so it is in aqua. The border is red, so let me show you. Since it's a dotted one, I think you couldn't able to see it. Okay, we go back. So actually it's in red, the border is in red. So again, let me like take this so you can actually see it. So I have to mention that I didn't mention it. Let me save this. Okay, now we can see you have to mention how many pixels and whether it's a solid or whatever it is. I mentioned it's solid, so you can see the border is in red, so I have mentioned it in the name. So you can see the color is violet, and the color is violet, and its background is silver. You can see it's silver, and the border is solid green. You can see it's solid green. And another one is brown, background is red, solid aqua is a border. You can see it's an aqua. Another one, the color is gray, the background is silver, and border is yellow. You can see it's in yellow. And another one is frog, which is green, and you can see it is in green. And background is black. You can see it's in black. Border is gray. You can see it's in gray. And you can see that another one is in green color, background is yellow, and border is solid black. Since it's a black one, I gave black. It's in black, I guess, but it's in green. But why? But I've given black, right? Why it's in green? Border 10 pixels solid black, but it's in green. I don't know. If you give black, it might look transparent and the real color might come out. No, this is not the one, right? Okay. Green one, this is the green. Okay, this is black, right? Yeah, yellow, green, green, yellow, yellow, black. It's in green actually. I don't know why. I think probably since it's a black, it will pick the color of the font, I guess. So that's the reason it's in green. Let me check it out. So if I change into red, what happens? Now it's in red. Okay, so let's move to the next. The navy color, aqua background, gray border, which is a dotted one, and the next one is pink. You can see it's in pink. Color is blue, solid green. So let's move to the next one, and the font is in brown, the background is in yellow, and it's a solid green border right there, which is a dotted one, and you can see the font is in yellow, background is a tomato, and border is a solid green, which is a dotted one again, and the last one is yellow, the font color, background color is green, and border is blue. So this is how to change the color by the name of the color. So now let's see how to change the color by using RGB element. By using the RGB element, you can change the color in two ways. One is by RGB values, which can be like between 1 to 1000, or by RGB percentages, which should be between 1 to 100. So let's see them both right now. Okay, what I'm gonna do is, so I'm gonna change it with the use of RGB. So it should be always in small letters or lowercase, whatever you call it. So RGB. So I'm going to change it with the values. So it might be like between 1 to 1000 or 0 to 1000. If you type 0, it doesn't count, so you're not using that. So what does RGB means? Red, green, blue is the primary colors, are responsible for formation of all the colors. So if you type 0 for R, then it will not pick R. So at least give some values. It might be like between 0 to 1000, like 1 to 1000, like 10, comma 50, comma like 119 or 1110. Okay, another RGB value here as well, around 500, 400, even 1000 it will pick. And another RGB value instead of this gray, by name. Okay, like this, doesn't matter, even 10 doesn't matter. So we do the same here as well. So let me like give 11, like 10 or 105, doesn't matter. Again giving the RGB values 1 or 2 or 999, doesn't matter. Again 15, 111 or 1000, doesn't matter. So let me do it for everything. So now what I'm doing is, instead of giving the name of the color, I'm using the RGB values. It might be like between 1 to 1000. If you use 0, it will not consider it as a value, it will be like 0. So instead of R, if I'm using like 0, so then it will not use the R, the only G and B will be used. So I'm also giving that. So here instead of G, I'm gonna give 0. I'm gonna move on to the next one. And again So what we are doing right now, so instead of using the names of the colors, we are giving the RGB values. So this is another way to add colors in your CSS file. Okay, so you can see that pretty much I can use the RGB values instead of the name of the colors, but still it will work. Let me save it, and let's go to the coloring the sky HTML document, and let me like open this. So coloring the sky. Okay, you can see that it is working right there. Okay, let me like explain it to you. So the color is RGB value is 1050 110. I don't know what the color is. It's actually the darker blue, I guess. And the background color is RGB 500 400,000, for which you will getting the white color. That's actually nice. So you get a beautiful white background. For the border color, I'm used RGB 506 40 10, which is responsible for the red color, I guess. So it's red or orange, I don't know. Probably it's red, I guess. So no, it's orange actually. It might be like orange, yeah. So it's responsible for that color. So which means that you can also use RGB values. So let's move to the next. For this, we will be getting a darker blue, and for the background color RGB values of 12999, you'll be getting a darker navy blue again. Then for the border of, oh, this is a wrong one, so that's the reason we didn't get anything. So now it is fixed, so you'll be getting a light navy blue right here. Okay, so for the RGB value of color 5555 456 100, you'll be getting a light or a highlighter green like this. You can see like this. And for the value of the background color 0, which it will not take red, and G and B is there 400 and 1000, you will get the aqua or sky blue. And for the border of RGB value 500, and we didn't take G, and with R and B values we will be getting a pink. Wow, great. And for the RGB value of 5688,000, we will be getting a blue, light blue or evening sky blue, I don't know. For the background color of RGB value, what we are getting is a dark blue. And for the border solid RGB value of 540,000, we'll be getting a dark blue again. And this like not that kind of a dark blue, it's like a navy blue. Okay, let's move on. For the RGB color values of 50 40 and 1000, we'll be getting a blue, which is again dark. For the background color of 1 40 and 100, we'll be getting even darker blue. The RGB value for 5 and 40, and we didn't use for B, so which is 0, and 5 and 40 will be getting a black. And another RGB value of 500 60 and 1000 will be getting a pink. And for the RGB value of 590 410 will be getting yellow. For the border solid RGB of 30 600 100 will be getting a highlighter green. Great. For the RGB value of 50, 40 and 100, we'll be getting kind of black, but it's not black actually, it's a dark, even deep dark blue. And for the background value of RGB 540 and 1000, we'll be getting a pink. For the value of 590, 400 and 100, we'll be getting white. And again, so what happened to the rest? It's not working. What happens to the RGB value right there? It didn't work. I don't know why. It should work, right? All these things didn't work. Why? I don't know why they didn't work. They should be working right now. Okay, let's count this. 1, which is A, which is B, C, D, E, F, G. What happened to the H, I, J, K? Oh, they are there. Okay, the RGB values must be like leading to the white color, I guess so, because they are there. Okay, well, while I'm trying to highlight them, they are visible. You can see they are still there. But the RGB value led to white, I guess so. So that's the reason they are not visible. Okay, but they are there. Okay, here actually it is there. Okay, so this is how you add a value with the RGB values. Add a color instead of naming the color name. Okay, instead of giving like red or yellow with a name, we can use the RGB values like 1 to 1000. Now let's see how to add the RGB value percentage. It should be like 1 to 100. So let's go. Okay, let's change the values to percentage right now. So it should be like within 100. Great. We give some value. Great. So you cannot mix the value and a percentage. If you are giving percentage, then everything should be percentage. You cannot mix with the percentage and values, because RGB is a combination, right? So you should not mix. Either you should give percentage or either you should give value or numerals, numbers without the percentage. Great. So far we are doing it faster. Nice. Great. Nice. This is the last one, I guess so. Wow. Okay, so let's save it. So since we have given everything in percentage by using RGB, now let's see what happens to our page right now, which is coloring the sky. So this was the previous one. I'm actually refreshing it. So you can see that it's actually worked. Okay, the color has been changed. Wow, this is what we get for the percentage we have given. So this is how to change the color by using RGB percentage. Wow, that's actually went blank. Great. Okay, so these are the one which were not visible on the previous one. Okay, now I think I can change it. Let me not change the values. Oh, since everything is same, that is not visible, right? Oh, that's the reason everything is in same color. That's the reason it's not visible. It should be like different. There should be some different. Because since everything has the same value, it will lead to same color. That's the reason we didn't see anything. I hope now we can see something. Okay, it is much better than the previous one. So what are the values for the last one? So what's not visible? Okay, the first one is not visible, right? Let me add a 1 and save it, and now it's visible. Boom. Okay, this is the lemon, and here again. Save it. Now it's visible. Okay, so this is how to change the color by using the RGB percentages, guys. Let me give the higher value so that I can see. Okay, that's nice. Okay, so this is how to change the color by using RGB percentage. So we have seen how to change the colors by name. We have seen how to change the colors by RGB values between like 1 to 1000. If you give 0, it will not take that particular color. If it is R, if you give 0, then it will not take that. It will take only like G and P. So like we have seen how to change the color by using name, by value from 1 to 1000. You can also give 0, it will lead to null. And we have seen now how to change the RGB, the color by using RGB percentages, which is varies from 1 to 100. You give 0, then it will take nothing. Okay, let's see how to change the color by using RGBA, which is alpha. In addition to that, okay, so even in alpha you can actually use values. A can be value or percentage, that doesn't matter. So I'm adding a A here, adding a A here, I'm adding a A here. It can be mixed, even you can give name, you can give RGB, you can give RGB, it doesn't matter. So I have to add another one for the purpose of A, right? So what I do is the alpha should be like between 0 to 100, guys. If you give alpha more than 100, it will take it as null. So let me like give 16. Since I'm teaching you percentage, what I'm trying to say is, if you're using the RGBA, what happens is RGB is separate and A is separate. If you're using RGB as percentage, you can use A as a value as well. If you're using RGB as percentage, you can use A as percentage as well. It doesn't matter. If you're using RGB as value, you can use A as value or percentage. Both is fine, because if you're using RGBA, RGB is separate and A is separate. If you're using RGB percentage, you can actually use percentage or value for A, that doesn't matter. So you can see here I've used RGB for percentage and used values. You can see here I can use RGB percentage and value for A is also percentage. Here I have used RGB as value and A as percentage, doesn't matter. But for the RGB, if you are using R percentage, you should use G and B as percentage. You should not mix it, because three are interconnected. So if you are using percentage for R, you should use the same for G and B as well. If you're using value for R, you can use value for, you should use value for G and B as well. So I think I made it really clear to you guys. So RGBA, RGB is separate, A is separate if you're using RGB percentage or value. You can also use separate value or percentage here. So let's see what's happening here. So I think I don't want to waste the time on this topic, so let me see the first one alone right now. Okay, let me like save this and let me like refresh the page. You can see the color has been changed. So what has happened is I have given percentage for RGB and value for 16, still it worked, and which leads to green. And you can see I have given percentage for everything, still it worked, which leads to like a like light violet color at the back, and everything is in RGB is in value, and this is in, I mean alpha is in percentage, still it works. It has given different a darker violet. I would say that it's actually a mixture of violet and indigo. Okay, even if I change it into a percentage and this thing into value, it will still work. Let me like save this and let me open the page and let me refresh it. You can see it is still working. So that's what happens. So this is how to add a RGBA percentage into a coloring. Okay, let's move on. Now let's see how to add HEX. So for the use of HEX, what you can do is you can add any random alphabets or any random number, but that doesn't mean like every alphabet combination with the number give the color. You should know the correct color. Let me guess and do it right now. Let me show you how to use the hex. Okay, so let me like remove the RGBA and add hex. So instead of hex, you don't need to write hex. You can add hash and FF112255. I don't know whether it's a real color or not, but this is how to add. Hash be there, followed by two numerals or alphabet, doesn't matter, and H E, X. Okay, this 2 refers to H, this 2 refers to E, this 2 refers to X. H, E, X. So you should add hash in front of that. So you should actually know the real value, only then you can use it. If you are giving some random, it might work or it might not work, I don't know. So let's go to the first and let's refresh it. Let's see whether what I've given is a true one or not. The thing is that I'm giving everything the same, might not work. Also give like 11 EE. If it is there, any value behind it, it will work. Let me refresh it. Okay, actually it is working. The first one didn't work. What I do, let me like use the another one. Let me save this. Let me refresh it. Okay, it's working. So this is how to use hex, guys. Hash, it might be combination of 2 letters or 2 word, but it should not be a single letter or single word. If you are giving alphabets, then the 2 value should be alphabet. Okay, it might be anything. So this is how hex will work, guys. 2 digits is for H, 2 digit is for E, 2 digit is for X, and the 2 digit can either be numbers or any alphabets, but the 2 digits should be a number or alphabet. It shouldn't be a mix of alphabet or numbers. It necessarily not be the same number or same alphabet, might be different as well, but if any color is behind the value, it might come or it might not come. So this is how to use hex, guys. So this is how to use hex. So lucky for me, the random number I given, what I've given here is dark blue, what I given here is actually red, what I given is actually a milky green. So this is how to use hex, guys. Hash, 2 digit for H, 2 digit for E, 2 digit for X, might be number or it might be an alphabet, but it shouldn't be a number or a alphabet. Okay, that's great. What I'm trying to say is this 2 is a alphabet. It shouldn't be like a numeral and alphabet. It should be like 2 alphabets. It might be anything, even HE, but I don't know what is behind HE, but I'm giving this. Okay, this is how to use HEX. Okay, let's go to the HSL. So in HSL, it should be actually percentage, guys. There is no value. It should be actually percentage, like 1 to 100. So let's go and try it out right now. So what we are doing actually is, instead of naming, we are trying HEX, RGB value or RGB percentage, or we are using HSL. So HS is same as like RGB, but it should only take percentage between like 0 to 100. 11 percentage, 55 percentage, and 99 percentage. So this is how to use the HSL. I'm copying it, pasting it here, pasting it here. So I'm changing it so that it will not show up the same one. Okay, so this is how to use HSL, guys. It should be always in percentage from 1 to 100. Okay, I'm saving this file. I'm going back to the page. So this is what happened. The thing is that the color, the value I given is for black, and the background and border what I've given leads to white. Okay, let me like reduce it. H stands for hue, S stands for saturation, L stands for light. How lighter you want it. Okay, I'm gonna save this. Let me like refresh it. Again leads to 0. Okay. This is saturation and this is the color. What happens is what I given might be wrong. Still it didn't work. Why? Okay, now let's calculate what happens if I change it. Okay, so what happens is in HSL, H is always a value, guys. Only S and L is percentage. Okay, so that's a mistake I did. Okay, so H is always a value from 1 to 100, and S and L is always percentage. So that's the mistake I've done, from 1 to 100. Okay, so let's go back and change it. So it is H is always a value and S and L is always a percentage. Okay, I think now it will work. Great. So the color is actually brown. The background what I've given is actually a dark. Okay, let me like reduce it, save it, and let me refresh it. Right, let me like give some little numbers. Wow, now it's actually nice. So we might change it to something else. Great. So what happens here is okay, so now we can see it, right? Now it's a small form. Okay, so in HSL, H is always a value from 0 to 100. If I give like more than 100, will it work? Let me check it. Yeah, it's actually working. So H is always a value from 0 to 1000. It shouldn't be a, it cannot be a percentage. So you can see that it's actually working when I give 111. It's actually picking up the green color right there. So H should always be a value, but S and L should always be percentages, because H is hue and S is saturation, L is lightness. So this is a combination of what we got right there, and it might be like 500, doesn't matter. I'm saving it and I'm actually refreshing it, and it gives like a aqua for the border, and for the background I'm actually changing it to like 666, and let me save it, and you can see it is actually picking up a pinkish violet color. I don't know. Okay, great. So if you're using HSL values, then remember this: H is always value from 1 to 1000. S and L is always a percentage. Okay, now let's see how to use HSL and alpha. So the last one is HSLA. So what happens here is like pretty much the same. like this. H is always a value from 1 to 1000, 1 to 1000, and S and L is always percentage. But A is again, it's a alpha, right? It can be a value from 1 to 1000, or a percentage which is 1 to 100. It can be either, that doesn't matter because it's alpha, right? Let's check it out. So I'm adding HSL A. Okay, what I'm doing is a percentage here, in addition to that, like 50 percentage, and a value of 55, a value of 699. I'm saving it. I'm going back here. I'm refreshing it. What happens is it didn't work. Oh, okay, I didn't add the AU right here. Right, 50, 500, or like 10, doesn't matter. I'm saving it. Great, now it's working. Boom. Okay, so this is how to use HSLA, guys. A is alpha, so it doesn't matter while you're using like a value like 500 or percentage like 50 percentage, it will work. You can see that it has actually given a color, which is this. I don't know what color this is, kind of a greenish brown or greenish pink. I don't know what color is this actually, I don't know. But what we have to know is HSLA is actually working. So H should always be a value, S and L should always be percentage, and A can be a percentage or value, doesn't matter because it's alpha. Okay, so this is how it is working. Great. Okay, so this is how to use HSLA, guys. So now what we have learned is how to add colors by name, by naming it. Okay, then by RGB. By RGB we have two things. One is by adding the RGB values 0 to 1000, and another one is by adding RGB percentage, and third is RGBA, which is RGB and alpha, and the fourth one is X by adding hashtag and value like 2-digit value. It might be combination of, it should not be a combination, it should be a separate 2-digit values for H, E and X, which might be a numeral or an alphabet. And HSL, where H stands for values from 1 to 1000, S and L should always be a percentage from 1 to 100, and another one is HSLA, where H stands for value 1 to 1000, S and L should always be a percentage, and A is alpha, it might be a value or percentage. So this is how to add colors in CSS. So let's move to the next topic right now. Now let's see about padding. So we have already had a glimpse of how to add padding, right? So padding, that's great. So there are like a few types of padding, which is padding to the top, padding to the bottom, padding to the left, padding to the right. Okay, so these are the types of padding, or you can simply use the padding. So if you simply use the padding, what happens is it will take the amount of pixels that you're giving for everything, like top, bottom, left. If you want to specifically mention the top should be this, bottom should be this, left should be this, right should be this, you can use it specifically. So this is how to use padding. So now let's see how to use padding. Okay, let me like use this, and what can I do is let me like take it out and add padding down, and let me like use it here. So padding to the top is around like 50 pixels, padding to the bottom is around again another 50 pixels, padding to the left is around like 40 pixels, padding to the right is again another 50 pixels. That's actually nice. So now what I'm gonna do is, this is before the padding. Okay, this is the complete page before the padding. So let me like save this and let me like maximize the screen. Okay, now let me like refresh this. So this is what happens if you're giving the padding like. So the top padding is around 50 pixels, that's what I've given. And so look at here, so the padding for the top is 50 pixels. So that's what happened here. So it was like 50 pixels, and even the bottom is 50 pixels. That's what happened here. So if I reduce to around like, let me like increase even more, like 200. Let's see what happens. Actually it didn't work. Let me like try it again. Okay, so okay, let me like do one thing. Let me create a new HTML page and let me teach you padding over there. Why it didn't work is because it's a it doesn't have so many words, right? So you couldn't able to see the padding. So it should have like many words only, then you can actually see the padding. So the document type is HTML. Let me like save it like this, and let me like create a head, and let me like save it here as well. Let me like add a body. Great. And let me have it here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add something inside my paragraph. So let me like open my browser. Let me open wiki, Apple. Okay, Apple is here. So I'm gonna add this one. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna paste inside my paragraph. So we have a lot of letters. So if I add padding, you can able to see this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a CSS file. For that, I'm gonna create a link to that file. Before that, so relative path is a style sheet, and href is my padding.css. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna save this file as my padding.css. I'm gonna save this as my padding .html. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the p, and since I'm directly using the tag element, I don't want to use dot or hash. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add padding, and I can also add some color, background color. Okay, let it be like red or yellow. And padding, so I'm going to use the all types of padding. Great, like 30 pixels, and it like use same. Great, let me like save this. So I'm going to open my padding HTML file right now. Okay, so you can see there's a padding like 30 pixels here, 30 pixels here, 30 pixels here. That's what padding is called. So I'm going to change the padding right now. Okay, so let me go back and let me add a border. Like save it, and let me change the border, I mean the height to like 50, bottom to like 50, left to like let me like change the left to 25, and right to 25, and bottom and top to 50. Okay, I'm saving it. So I'm opening the page. Now this is the 100% original page, so I didn't maximize or minimize it. So I'm going to refresh it. So you can see that padding out bottom is what I've given. Let me like minimize it. So padding at the top is around like 50 pixel, padding at the bottom is around 50 pixel, and padding at the left is around 25 pixel, it is small, and right is around 25 pixels. So this is how you add padding, guys. Padding is actually the distance between the top, left, right and bottom from your main letters to the next one, which is the border. So this is the gap or difference or space, whatever you want to say. That's the padding, guys. So let's move on. So now let's see like how to add a height and width in CSS. Okay, now let's see how to do that. So this is the CSS page of my padding. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a height right now, like height pixels is fine, 200 pixels. Always use pixels, guys. Like if you use percentage, it will actually mess up, but you can also use percentage. Like width might be like 50%, but I think I prefer always pixels. So okay, great. So now the height of the paragraph will be like 200 pixel and width might be 50%. Let me save it and show it to you. So you can see that it has come out, because The height what I've given is 200%, and width what I've given is 50%. So the height is really small, so that's the reason it has come out. If I give like 100%, now it will be fine, I guess. Save it, we refresh it. Now you can see, since I've given 100%, it will take up the whole page. Even if you maximize, it will take up the whole page. So that's the reason you shouldn't give percentage. You should always use pixels, or you can give like around 30%, because the percentage what you are giving here is based on the 100% of the page size. Okay. Okay, now let me like save this and let me refresh it. You can see that 30% is the height and width is 50%. Okay, even if you change the screen size, it will consider the total screen size as 100 and it will take the value based on that. Okay, you can see that size of the box is actually changing while I'm changing the size of the window, because it takes the window size as 100% and the window as 100, and the area of where we are giving, I mean the paragraph, is 30%. So this 30% is actually the 30% of the screen size of the window. You can see that if I'm maximizing, even this is maximizing, because it is actually taking the percentage, right? So that's the reason you should always use pixels, because it doesn't matter what the screen size changes. So let me like save it. Now let me like maximize it and let me like refresh it. Now it has taken the pixel, right? So that's the reason it is looking like that. So this is how to change the height and width. Let's move on to the next topic. So in the same, what you can do is in the height and width, you can also give auto. It will automatically choose what to do. Okay, let me like save it. So it is automatically taking the size. So this is what happens if you give auto. So even if I change the window size, it is automatically consuming the size. Look at this, it is taking up the whole page for the paragraph. So even if I am changing the screen size, it is automatically taking the whole page. This is what happens if you give auto. It will automatically take it. And you can also give inherit. It will take it from the previous parent value. Okay, I'm saving it. So even if I'm refreshing it, it is actually taking the previous value, because previous value is auto, right? So that's the reason it is inheriting the previous value. So this is some of the other method that you can use the size. Okay, you can also use initial. So it will take up the default size. Okay, I'm saving it. So now let's see. So this is the default size. It will take up the whole page. So if I give initial, it will take up the default size. And we can also give length. If you give length, you have to specify it in centimeter or pixel. You can actually type length, or you can simply use the pixels directly, doesn't matter. So it's actually like not accepting. I can like take it off. Now it will accept. If you're using length, you can directly type the length in pixels or centimeter, it doesn't matter. Okay, so now it is in 500 pixels. You can also give centimeter like 15 centimeter or 25 centimeter. So refreshing it, so it's actually taking like 15 and 25 centimeter. So this is how to use the length. Okay, so now let's move on. We can also set maximum width. So like with this 25 centimeter, and maximum width can be around 50. I mean, if I give it in pixels, then you might have an idea. (200 pixels). Okay, so what happens is, even the screen size is bigger, it will not change, it will be fixed. So that's the reason we are giving a maximum width and maximum height. So let's save it and see it. So this is the maximum 500 pixels, so it will not go beyond that. So this is how to use maximum width and height. So now let's see how to add margin. So we can actually go ahead and add margin like 30 pixels. So it will add margin. Let me like go back. Let me refresh it. So you can see there's a gap here, right? So that's the reason it has taken this space for the margin. So if I take it away, the margin will be gone. So you see there is actually a margin here, but I have taken out in the HTML file. Now I'm refreshing it, so now the margin is gone, right? So you can also use margin. So I've given like 30 pixels. Now we can see this has been implemented in this web page. So look, boom. So margin is for all the four angles, guys. You can see the margin is same here, here, and here. You can also specifically choose like margin to the left, right, anything, like right margin, like that, left margin, top margin, bottom margin. So we can also add outline, guys. So let's see about the outline. Outline, so like outline style and outline color, and outline width, outline offset, and you can use outline by the name itself, general outline, like this. Okay, so now let's see in my CSS So a general outline. Can give it like dotted, and let's save it. Let's go to the padding. So you can see there's an outline with the dotted. You can see the outline right here, right? Let me like zoom this page. So you can see the outline. Even though I'm zooming it, the outline is not zoomed. Okay, so that's the outline, guys. It's a dotted one. This is how you can add an outline, and you can specifically add an outline like outline style, and you can say like dashed, and then it will be like dashed. So let's refresh it. Now it's dashed. You can see the difference between the previous one right now. And another thing is there are like different types of styles in outline. So let me like tell you guys. So outline styles. Okay, the first one is dotted, and the second one might be dashed, and the third one might be solid, and the fourth one might be double, and the fifth one might be crew, and the sixth one might be ridge, and the next one might be inset, and next one might be outset, the next one might be none, we don't want none, and the next one might be hidden. So these are the types of various types of outline that are available, that various style. So we're gonna try everything right now. So we have already tried dotted and dashed. Now let's try solid. Or can I show everything? Okay, what I can do is, okay, this is the dashed one. I'm gonna reduce this, save this. Oh, it is a centimeter, right? Let me save this. Okay, now it's much better. Okay, now that's actually nice. So what I'm planning is to show each and every one by one. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. So let me copy this. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, there are like 8 types of styles. So I'm gonna copy and paste it 8 times, I mean 7 more times. 2, I should actually add a BR. Okay, that must be great, helpful or useful. Okay, so 2 done, 4 more to go. Okay, great. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, Okay, another 2 more to go. Great. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a title here. Okay, the title I'm gonna give here is dotted one, which is outline style is dotted. Outline style dotted. And this is the signed one. So outline style is dashed. Okay. Now this is the third one. Outline style is solid. And here comes the fourth one. Outline style is actually double. And here's the fifth one. Outline style is actually groove. And here comes the sixth one. Outline style is actually bridge. And here comes the where's the seventh and eighth? Okay, let me like paste it again. Copy seventh and eighth. So, okay, the seventh one might be inset and the eighth one is outset. Okay, great. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add an ID here. So I'm gonna name it as dotted. Okay. And for the second one, okay, here's the second one, but actually I didn't use it. Second one might be dashed. And here's the third one, which is solid. And here's the fourth one, which is double. And here's the fifth one, which is groove. And this is, here comes the sixth one, which is ridge. And here comes the seventh one, which is inset. Comes the eighth one, which is outset. Okay, that's it, right? Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my CSS file and I'm gonna add it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change this into a dotted with the hashtag, which is because we have used the ID, right? So dotted. For the dotted, I'm gonna use the dotted. Okay, so pretty much I'm gonna copy it and I'm gonna do it for all. So the next one is dashed. So I'm gonna use the dashed. And third one is what is the third one actually? Solid, right? Solid. And it will be like solid. And the fourth one is double. And the fifth one is groove. And the sixth one is actually a ridge. and the seventh one is actually inset, and eighth one is outset. Okay, so the next one is none and hidden. We are not going to use it. If you use it, it will not show. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to save it. I'm going to save my padding as well. I'm going to open my padding. So this is my padding. So let me like refresh it. Okay. Okay, the effect has been applied, but what happened is it has applied to the topic. Okay, that's actually nice. So what happens here is this is the dotted style, right? So you can see it is dotted. The outline is dotted right here, and if you like move to the down, it is like dashed, and you can see the outline is actually dashed like here. I couldn't able to maximize. Even if I maximize, it is not showing. So it is solid. Solid means nothing, so it's merged with the black border. It is actually a solid color, so that's the reason you couldn't see, because it's a solid one with a black. And it's a double is a double outline. You can see one line is outside and another outline is down. If I take out the border, you can see it actually it's a two line, that's outline. And another one is groove. Groove is nothing but like a frame. It is grooved outwards. It is grooving outwards. This is groove. And ridge is grooving inwards. That's a ridge. You can see it here. I couldn't able to maximize it. And inset is actually like inner path. Since I have the border, you couldn't able to see it. Let me like fix it. And this is outset. You can actually see the outset, I guess, so like lightly, because I couldn't, even if I maximize the page, the outline remains the same. That's a problem here. I couldn't able to show you properly. So this is the smallest thing. So what happened here is it has taken the value for the heading. Okay, instead of giving the ID on the P, I have given on the H. That's a problem. Let me fix it. So it should be for the paragraph, not for the H1. Okay, now I think it will be fixed. Great. So we can see it's a dotted, it is dotted, and it is dashed. You can see it is dashed, and it's a solid. So it's a solid means it is the same as the border. It's a solid. It's a double line. You can see it. It's a groove. You can see it's a grooving. The ridge, you can see it's a ridge. It's a inset. It's actually inside it, and it's a outset. So there's a type of outlines that you actually can use. Even if I maximize a page, the outline doesn't get maximized, guys. That's the reason I couldn't be able to show you. So these are the different types of outlines, and the none and hidden will not work because hidden will not show up. None, it's nothing. So these are the different types of outline styles. So what are the outline colors and outline width and outline offset you can give? So let's check. Okay, let me like red. Outline width might be like around 10 or even bigger, like 50 pixels. And outline offset, like offset, what I can give on offset, like how many pixels I want, like around 15 pixels. Okay, so we can see it clearly right now. I can change the size. Let me like show it to you. Now we can see everything in a bigger size right now since I have changed the size. Okay, let me like save it. Going back to the page, let me like refresh it. Now I have changed the size. Probably you can see it, I guess so. Since I've given offset too much, I think the thing is merged. So let me like reduce the offset size. Like 1. Okay, let me check. Okay, I couldn't able to see the outline clearly right now, so let me change the pixel size. So what we have done is, okay, the width is really big. I think I have to change the width. That's the reason we couldn't able to see it, guys. So what we can do is, we can also use like thin, medium, thick for the width. Like thick, medium, or thin. Anything is fine, or even pixels is also fine, like 5 or something like that. So let me like save this and go back and refresh it. Okay, now it's actually fine. Okay, so I don't like why I couldn't able to see the outline style. Oh dear lord, I have actually given the style 2 times. That's the reason I couldn't able to see it. Okay, so I've given insert to everything, so that's the reason it didn't work. I've added another one, probably by copying and pasting. I've done that. Okay, now what we can do is we can use around like 20 pixels each, and you can also use thick, but you can use 20 pixels so that you can see the dotted one clearly. 20 is fine. I'm going to save this. Now we can able to see the dotted one actually. Okay, this is the outline, guys, dotted outlines. So you can see that the style is dotted. So this is how you can see the dotted outline. So this is the dashed outline, and this is the solid outline. This is the style double outline. So I can maximize the style double outline size so that you can see it clearly. Okay, so this is the double outline, because you can see the double outlines here. Since I have changed the color to red, you can clearly differentiate the outline with the border. Border is in black, the outline is in red. So this is the groove outline in red. So what happens to groove is, you can see that it actually takes two color, like darker red and lighter red. So this is the groove style, and this is the ridge style. You can see the ridge clearly. It's the opposite of groove. You can see the corner. You can see the corner here. And this is the inset. Inset means it actually takes the color to innerwards, and you can see partially it is red and partially it is brown. So this is the inset. So this is the outset, partially here brown, here red. So this is the inset and outset, guys. So this is how to add the outlines to the CSS file. So now we have seen how to add color to the CSS file, and how to add the size. You can mention like thin, thick, or the pixels of the outline width. So we have seen outline styles. We have seen actually how to add the outline colors. We have seen what are the outline width. We can also add thin, width, thin, thick, or the pixels. We have seen how much offset we want. So these are about the outlines, guys. Let's move on. So now let's see how to text align. So how to text align in CSS. Okay, so there are like various ways for that. It might be left or center or right, might be anything. So let's go to the same one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add text align. Okay, I'm going to use left. Let me do it to the first one so that it might be easy for you to see. So I'm going to add the text align left to the dotted one, and to the dashed one I'm going to add the text align center, and to the next one I'm going to add text align to the right. Okay, let me like save it. Let me go to it. Let me go to the first one. I'm going to refresh it. So you can see it is left aligned. So you can see everything in the straight line to the left, and it will end wherever it want on the right. So it is left aligned. The second one is center aligned. You can see everything is center aligned and it has a different shape on the left and right. And the third one is right aligned. You can see it's a straight line on the right, and left it is not the same. So this is how to add the text align in CSS, guys. Okay, let's move on. So the next is text direction. So in text direction, we can use direction to from which it can actually go, and you can also use Unicode BID, and you can also use vertical align. Okay, so these are the different alignments in addition to what I've seen earlier. So let's see text direction right now. So in addition to the left, right, and center, there is also another one which is justify. So it will automatically choose whatever it wants. So let me like copy that. So I can use justify. So let's save it. It will automatically choose the best one. I'm going to refresh this. So you can see after the right alignment, and you can see this is the left one, left alignment, because everything is straight line in the left. Center alignment, everything is straight in the center and not ordered in the left and right. It's a right alignment, everything is straight on the right. So this is the justified, guys. Justified means what happens is the left and right will be neatly aligned, and the last line will not be ending properly. It might end wherever it wants. So the left and right will be in a straight line. That's justified basically. Okay, let's go back. Let's see the text direction right now. Before that, let me also teach you about text align last. So we can say what the last alignment should be, like right or center or justify. So anything might be same. So we can use it right now. Okay, we like copy it and use it. Okay, so what I've done is I've used the text align last right in the double, but let me like use it somewhere else. Okay, on the outset. Okay, let me like save it. So let me go to the actual page. So if you can see on the offset, in the outset we have used text align last, and what happens here, you can see that we have used the right. So in the outset what we have used is text align last right. I think the text align last isn't right. Okay, and if we go back, we have used and save this. Oh, it's here my padding, and oh my dear lord, what happened to the page? Did I close it? Okay, this is the my padding, right? So what happens here is in the outset we can see that I have used the outline offset, I mean like text align to the right. Okay, let's see that. I'm gonna save this. I'm going to the page, I'm refreshing it, and I'm actually maximizing the page. So this is the outset, and I have used text line last to the right. So this is what happens if you use text align last to the right. What happens is the left line will be in a straight line and the right will be in an order like this. Okay, that's nice. So if I use text align last to left, let's see what happens. Okay, I'm going to refresh this. So what happens is everything is in a straight line to the left, and it's kind of messy at the right. So if I use the center, let's see what happens. I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna refresh this. Okay, everything is kind of in the center. It's kind of same. I don't know like why they have named it text align last. It's just a text align. Okay, this is the text align to the right. Okay, this is the last, right? So there's some difference here. Okay, I think if the more the paragraph is, you can actually see the difference. Okay, this is how to add the text align last. So we have seen how to add a text line in CSS, like left, right, center, justify, and text line last, right, center, and justify. Let's see the direction of the text right now. So we can set right to left, or that's the only direction you can actually set. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to my padding, the outset. This is especially for the people who type in Arabic. So you can actually you cannot use it for any other languages. The only direction allowed is like RTL, I mean right to left. You cannot actually use left to right. You can actually use it, but pretty much it will not give any value. Okay, I'm going to type the directions right here, and I'm going to type RTL, which means right to left. Okay, so I'm going to save this. Okay, I'm going to the RTL, which is outset. So you can see it's like normal. I'm going to refresh it. So I think it didn't work. Okay, it's outset and direction. Okay, everything is right. I don't know why it didn't work. Okay, let me like save this. Oh, still it didn't work. I don't know why. It should actually work. I don't know why it didn't work. Everything should be like from right to left. So that's the use of RTL. So can I like use another one and show it to you? Okay, what I do is I create a new HTML document, probably since it's inside the border and everything, I think it didn't take it. Okay, let me like create a new document for you guys. Okay, great. Nice. Nice again. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a paragraph right now. Okay, I'm going to apple.wiki. Okay, let me copy this and go back, added this. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is gonna add the direction. Okay, right, so let me create a link. It's a style sheet, and okay, I would give directions.css. directions.html. Let me save this as directions.css. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this p and use the direction. So I'm gonna give the direction RTL. Okay, before saving this, without saving it, let me without adding this, let me show you the page. Okay, let me open this directions right now. Okay, this is basically the directions. You can see that it is in a proper order. It's in English, it's an American English, it's in a proper order, right? So Apple is an American multinational technology company headquartered in Cupertino. Okay, Cupertino. Okay, that's right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add directions, and I'm going to save this. So now let's see. Okay, so now it has changed the direction. It is from right to left. Okay, so this is how to use the direction. That's actually nice. So let's move to the next. Okay, let me add and let me teach you about Unicode by die. So what does even that mean? So what happens if you add Unicode? It's for the Arabic text. What happens? It will change everything into the other direction. I guess so. Let me check it out right now. Unicode by die, and by die is by direction short form. What I'm going to give is override. Okay, I'm going to close the command here. I'm going to save this file. So I'm going to refresh this page. So now you can see this. Now everything has been turned upside down because it has considered the by direction from the opposite. So you can see that you can read it from the right to left right now. So it has seen APPLE Apple. So everything is from right to left because it's for the Arabic people. They write right to left, right? They write right to left. Okay, that's the confusion right there. Okay, this is how to use direction and Unicode by die. By die is nothing but by direction, and we can also use vertical alignment. Vertical alignment is actually for Mandarin, I guess so, because they write from top to bottom, right? So this is for the vertical alignment. Let's see about the alignments which is vertical align, and there are like few types in that. Let me like tell you, which is the first one is baseline, and the second one is text top, and the third one is text bottom, and the fourth one is actually sub, and fifth one is super, and these are the vertical lines available. So let's see them now. So let me like take it out, and let me like save this, and let me go back to the file page. So everything is normal. Okay, let me like go back to the vertical align. I'm going to use vertical align baseline. Like copy this and paste it here. Let me like add color and background color and border okay. So now we're gonna see vertical align, which is baseline right now. Let me go back to the page. So let's refresh it. So this is the vertical align, which has the baseline. Okay, so now let's see the next one, the text top. So this is a text top. I don't see any difference. So this actually this is for the vertical alignment, right? Vertical is from the left to right. So you can see that it's a text top. So you can see that edges are clearly shaped here, and it is not actually clearly shaped here. I think this is the text top, and the next one is text bottom. Okay, now let's see what happens to the text bottom. Okay, so now you can see it has come to the bottom. I don't know, I couldn't see any difference. Probably you might have seen. And these are the different alignments, and there is also sub and super, right? Let's try them out. Okay, this is a sub. Why I couldn't see any difference? Okay, so basically why we couldn't see is actually this can be set only if the image is added to the text, or else it might not able to be seen. So I think I need an image for that. Okay, let me add an image. Let me add an image here. Let me add the height as well. Okay, now let's save it and go back. Okay, so this is how it works, guys. Actually what happens here is let me like start from the first vertical align baseline. Let me like see what happens if I add the baseline. Okay, if I add the baseline, actually nothing happens. I don't know like what's wrong with this vertical align. Let's see it. Okay, let me like figure it out. I don't know. Oh god, I found it what it is. Great. Let me like tell it to you guys right now. So what happens is if the image is like this, let me copy it and put somewhere like here in between, and let me like reduce its pixels. So let me like save it. So now what happens is if the text align is like baseline, and I'm saving this. If you go to the okay, this is what happens. Now it is in the baseline. So what baseline is, it is actually along with the line, right? So this is the baseline text align. If the picture if you want the picture to be on the top of the line, then you can use the text top. So you can see now it is along with the text, right? Now it will be on the top. Now let's see that. Okay, I'm saving the file, refreshing the page. Again, it should be on the text top, right? It should be on the desktop. I don't know what's the matter. I don't know like what's wrong. Actually, it should be on the top. Okay, let me like save this. Let me like save this. Let me like open it again. Actually, this apple should be like here. Oh, since I've set the border, it's not, it's like that, I guess so. Okay, let me like move the image. Okay, I'm moving somewhere like around here. Now let's save this. Okay, you can see it's inside the text. Now it should be like over here. It should be like further little, I guess so. Let me like change the size to 5. Now I think now it will work. Okay, so now it's in the baseline. I just want it to be a little bit higher. So that's the use of the different types of text line, guys. But it should work actually. I don't know what's wrong. Why it didn't work? So what happens is if I use the text top, it should actually pop up of the text. Now it's in baseline. You can see it's in now baseline. It should come right here. That's a text top. Why it is not working? I really don't know. It should actually work. Let me remove everything and let's see. Okay, it's still down. Let me add an ID. Oh, still it's not working. I don't know what's wrong with the thing. Probably there should be something. I will like figure it out and I will tell it to you later, guys. So that's what happens. What I'm trying to say is, uh, wait. So if I'm giving the baseline, then the apple will be like here. Okay. Now if I give like text top, the apple should be over here, like near the T. It should be on the top. It should be on the top of the text. If I give text bottom, now then the apple should be like below the text, like this. If I give like sub, it should be like a power of sub, like below, and super it should be above. But I don't know like why it's not working. What's wrong? Okay, let me try it out in another way. I'm gonna add like internal style. I'm going to add a body right now. Let's see. I'm gonna write something. It's a paragraph. Okay, so I have to mention the class inside the image, guys. That's a mistake I've done. So I was like inserting the image class inside the paragraph. I should add the value of the image inside a. Okay, so now understood. Right. Okay, so let's save this file as what can be like align property dot html. Okay, what I'm gonna do is okay, I'm gonna use the class here, which is a. So dot a. Okay, let me like use the this one, vertical align baseline. Okay, let me like save this and let me open the file which is align property. Okay, you can see that image is in here. Okay, let me like reduce the size. Save this, and we can see an apple is here actually. So this is the baseline, guys. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the desktop. So let me like save this and refresh this page. So this is a baseline, and save this. Okay, now you can see it's on the text top. It's above the same. So this is the text top, and now let's see the text bottom. Okay, so now you can see it's on the bottom of the text. That's the text bottom. Now let us see about sub. So sub is similar to text bottom, guys. It will be like here, and if you use sub, it will be on the up. Okay, it's slide bit of up. So this is how to use the vertical align, guys. So if you use like a super, let's see what happens. It's pretty much the same. Okay, it will be like on the top. So this is how to use this, guys. So let's move on. Okay, so now what we can learn is text decoration. So now let's see what the text decoration is. So let's see the text decoration in CSS. Okay, let's see the text decoration like line, text decoration, color, text decoration, style, and text decoration thickness, and just a text decoration directly. Okay, so let's see them all right now. So I'm going to use the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use text decoration. To do that, I'm going to use the P, and let's see text decoration line. Which is overline. Great. So now let's save this. Let's go to the one and let's see. This is the overline, guys. So this is a text decoration overline, and now let's see text decoration line as line through. Let's save this and let's go and see. So this is a line through, guys. It's basically a line will be like inside the words. And now let's see about underline. So probably might have guessed right now what an underline is. So this is the underline. And now let's see overline, underline. So basically there will be like two. Let's save this, and you can see there's two lines in over and under. So this is the text decoration. So these are the different text decoration lines. Now let's see about the colors. So in text decoration line we have seen line through, and we have seen overline, and we have seen underline, we have seen overline, underline. Okay, now let's see about the color. Let's see about the text decoration color. So it's basically giving the color like red or whatever it is. Okay. Let me like save this. So now the text decoration color will be like, the color will be like in red. So the underline will be in red right now. Okay, you can see it's in red. So this is how to use the text decoration color. And now let's see how to do text decoration style. I want to use the solid one right now. So if you can see now, it will turn into solid. You can see it's like kind of thicker right now. So now let's use wavy. It will be like in the form of a wave. You can see it now. It's like in the form of a wave. That's wavy. So let's use like so it's kind of a wavy. You can see that. Now let's see the thickness, text decoration thickness. Like 5 pixels. Let's see. Okay, now it's 5 pixels. This is how to add the thickness. Now let's see just a text decoration. It will do nothing. You can do it in a single line. So let's take everything. So just text decoration. You can do like underline and red, wavy, 5 pixels. So this is to do in a single commands. Save it. Now it has changed, right? So if I change it solid, then it will be like in solid. So it's solid. So this is how to use it, guys. So this is the text decorations available in CSS. So that's going to be a part 2 video, guys. So I'm going to end the stream right now. So see you tomorrow for the part 2. Like, see you in part 2 video of CSS tutorial, like tomorrow. Okay, so this is the part 1 video, guys. So see you in part 2 video of CSS tutorial tomorrow. I'm gonna end the stream, so you can follow like absolute beginners coding on like Facebook, Twitch, Kick, YouTube and Instagram. So the name will be the same in every platforms. So this is the same letter and everything is same on every platforms. So right now I'm gonna end the stream, guys. So see you tomorrow for the part 2 video of CSS tutorial. So this is a part 1 video. So make sure to leave a like and follow my page if you're watching this video on like Facebook. Make sure to follow and subscribe to my Twitch account if you're watching this on Twitch. Make sure to follow and subscribe to the Kick if you're watching it on Kick. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell icon and leave a like and comment your thoughts if you're watching this on YouTube. And you can also follow my Instagram. So thank you, guys. Have a great day. I will see you in the part 2 video of CSS tutorial. Bye bye, take care.